3 years of no pay, up to 12 grand, up to 25 grand, ran out of money, down to zero again. It was only really 5 years in that I actually started earning what I'd consider a decent income around the kind of 35, 40k mark. And obviously now that's grown up more as we've grown as a business, but it was tough.
Welcome to another episode of Pints of You, where I have one of my great friends to talk about their life and a story of interest that hopefully
is of interest.
Yeah. So can I welcome to you, everybody, and yourself, Derry Holt. Have a cheers with me, sir. Brilliant. Thank you. Brilliant. James has raised the game today.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually got his cues.
Didn't you quit drinking, by the way?
I have quit drinking.
I see.
This doesn't really count. Yeah, it's been a very...
You can't call it Pints of You and not have a pint, though.
We have been drinking non-alcoholic all the way through it.
Yeah, that makes about right.
But yesterday we had three of the biggest guests you've ever seen in your life drinking from very small pint glasses. It looked like...
It kind of shows the less you drink, the bigger you get by the sounds of it.
It looked like niblets of you. So, I've known Derry for a long time now, before he started his business. And the first time we ever met, we were sat doing doodles on paper tablecloths.
Yeah, you got a napkin out, I remember.
In the union, telling you how you should run your business, which
Yeah.
I think he's probably still there. He left it alone and actually grew a really good business as
I've
a
got
result,
it framed on my wall.
as something not to do. As with everyone, before I give you a formal introduction, I've written you a poem.
Oh boy, go on then.
Well, I've got to be honest with you. I'm no laureate. From modern business founder to e-game all-rounder, a gamification for your information to increase motivation across the nation.
Not bad.
That won't fit on a pen, and that was quite hard to say. Bringing success and tunes to your office sales floor, with leadership seeing everyone score.
Ooh, nice.
I'm going to write you on your new mag. Like most of my mates, he's a bit of a geek. He can game, he can code, and work 7 days a week. He's on a mission with a clear vision. He's just disrupting the pack and giving Cube 19 a smack.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
That's going to come back and haunt.
Oh, hell yeah. Cheers.
A silent assassin bringing cash in. So shut the door and close the bolt. There's not many things rhyme with Holt. So shut the door, close the bolt. It's podcast time. I bring you Derry Holt.
Very nice. Have you ever thought about doing recruitment rap battles?
I don't know. I possibly could.
I'd love to see you. Just find someone you don't particularly like. There's enough of them out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And do a rap battle.
Yeah, we know them all. Yeah.
A rap battle would be amazing.
Right. So I think the best way to describe you, you have two lives.
Yes.
Clark Kent by day, Superman by night, Peter Parker by day, Spider-Man by night, Dr. David Banner, and Hulk by night.
Nerd and then something else that you can make a movie out of.
Exactly. So founder and of a brilliant piece of tech. Third round of investment.
Just closed. Yep. 3 million total now, which is nice.
I met you before you got going.
Yeah. When I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, absolutely.
You definitely did. You definitely had a vision. You were driven to do something different in the marketplace and bring analytics to what was quite a dense marketplace. We measured very few things.
Yeah.
And you managed to gamify all that. Then by night, it all gets exciting.
Yes.
So, e-game extraordinaire. So from developer of e-games to actually now being, I like to call you judgy, not a judge, but you are a commentator for those big, massive events globally when people are playing games. And I just mentioned to you, what games are you doing now? How far has it moved from Pong? Right. And it's
Gone away.
Because I don't game. No shit. Obviously, I'm a grown up.
You don't strike me as that person.
No, I'm not that person. I have no idea what it's all about. How would you describe yourself now and this sort of duplicity of character? Actually, it's not duplicity, but you know what I mean.
It's hard to give it all in one statement, yeah. On one side, entrepreneur, founder, whatever you want to call it, because it won't be the only one to do. I'm sure there'll be more in the future. But on the second time, it is John Motson, but for video games. It's commentary as if you were commentating on football, but for video games. And every time I say it, I got that exact reaction that you gave me then.
Motty.
Blank face, like what? Not a clue, like what on earth I'm talking about. But what you said earlier on was about right. I fly around the world commentating on tournaments where we get teams from Brazil, America, China, Korea, Australia, you name it, all in one place. and they just play video games for 2 weeks, which sounds like a real big fuck about, but it's not. The idea is they're competing sometimes for upwards of $2 million in prize pool. Like, it's really serious business with good money behind it as well. And I give my voice to it. I have a good laugh doing it. It's a bit of a crazy fever dream, I think, at the best of times, but I have plenty of fun doing it.
And how much time do you dedicate to both?
Business is
Actually,
a
sorry,
full job.
Is there a season for E?
Is a season for E
games?
for esports, we'll call it.
Oh, sorry. Was
God,
everybody
get with
else?
the times, Gary.
Was everybody else thinking of Ibiza?
You do get stages or seasons. Yeah, it depends. Okay. There's so many games and they've all got different. It's like different sports, right? Like cricket, football, rugby. In the same way, we have video games. One called League of Legends. There's one called Overwatch.
There's a rule here.
Oh,
yeah. If there's an alarm that goes off or there's a horn that goes off,
right,
it means you're lying.
It's
lying. The Marylebone lie detector.
Well,
that's from outside, so they know more than me. All right, I believe
it's fine. You get different games, and they all have their own leagues or independent circuits that run. Some will do 8 events a year, and that's all they run. Others will have like 7 weeks of like a Premier League-esque kind of thing. Some will run one the entire year, similar to the Premier League, right? So they really, really vary. I tend to do ones these days where it's more about the events itself. So I'll go somewhere for 4 or 5 days, work 4 or 5 days, then fly back home again. And that really is my life.
And how much work is it?
Depends. When you're first getting into a new game to commentate on it, if you sat down and had to, you'd never watched, I don't know, let's say baseball, for example. I've barely watched baseball. If someone turned to me and said, yeah, come and commentate on baseball, I'd have to sit there and study like reams of tape to be able to understand the game to a level that I don't sound like a total idiot to an expert or someone who knows the game. So similar in video games, now, you need to really understand it.
So would you have to play it and 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 get good at it?
Some would argue no, but many of the fans will say, oh, this guy's terrible at the game. What's he doing talking about it, right? But then equally, in football, some people don't play football or they've never played football. They just know a lot about the game.
Alter egos who actually play some of the tournaments and play in the games to get good?
I wish I was that good, but no.
In recruitment, I used to have an alter ego back in the day when you had to leave a voicemail for someone, and I chose Dirk Denham, which I thought...
Why Dirk Denham?
I don't know. It raised more attention than I could have got away with.
It's an interesting name. I'll give you that.
Dave, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
You mentioned baseball. Do you know
James?
Do you mention why it's called yeah? Do you know why the baseball is the finals are called the World League?
No.
It's because there was a newspaper in New York and it was called The World. So they just call it the World League.
Nice.
So everyone actually thinks it's a global thing.
I see, but it's not.
I think that's
cheeky, isn't it?
Yeah. So in terms of, we're going to speak about e-games forever. Oh, yeah. Esport.
Either or. I'll let you get away with it. You get a pass today.
So, because I'm really fascinated about where that's gone and how quickly it's got to where it's gone.
Yeah.
And where it could be. I mean, Olympics. I mean, this is really hardcore. Are there celebrities in this world?
Usain Bolt owns a team that I commentate on regularly, which is probably the closest thing I can think to something that people can associate with or understand. Yeah, he owns a team called Wild, with a Y rather than an I. And he's like one of their ambassadors. He's there meeting all the players, for example. He's really involved in kind of the management of it. And so to see that organization, knowing that they kind of like are part owned by him, is really interesting. David Beckham part owns a team that's actually based here in London called Guild. So there are some known names floating around in the sphere. I wouldn't say any of them are playing the games themselves and competing in tournaments, but they are around it in some capacity, normally through ownership, sponsorship, being ambassadors, that kind of thing.
So if someone was playing FIFA, and would you know who Lionel Messi was if he was playing? Is there kind of like a link to say, oh, that's him actually playing the game?
As in if he was sat down there with a controller playing, oh yeah, everyone knows who the players are. In the same way, like, a football player, like Wayne Rooney, for example, you have those kind of players in esports who are like amazing at the game. They're better than everyone else. Everyone's like, man, I wish I was like that guy. He's amazing. So yeah, very much the same. Honestly, the parallels to sport are really close. Just imagine it's video games that are kicking a ball around or batting it with a bat or whatever it might be.
That's unbelievable.
It's mental. Honestly, it still sounds crazy when I say it out loud.
And let's just touch on the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because it's been muted about it. Where do you think it is?
There's a bit of controversy actually in esports about this recently. Twitter's kind of where esports lives and talks and breathes and all the rest of it. And the problem that many have got at the minute with the Olympics, although I think it's a really cool first step, is it's made by a company that make these like sports-based games that have got like pay-to-win mechanics where you can pay money in game to advance and things like that. So many are sort of looking at it right now and saying, that just feels like a marketing ploy to get more money going into this game. And it's kind of gone in through the back door a bit and someone's slipped some money somewhere and got these games put into the Olympics. But I think as a starting point, it's a really interesting point to kind of kick off from, and I've got no doubt it'll get better as well.
Brilliant. And these days, is there a world league? Is there like a big event, the World Cup of games?
Yeah, it depends entirely.
Beaty uppy, racy.
Racy.
I really haven't got a clue. Literally, I'm hanging in here like Sylvester.
They're actually iRacing is an actual subset of esports that is really interesting.
Yeah. What about Beaty uppy fighty?
There's those. They're called FGC or Fighting Game Community. There are games like that. It's very much a niche of like Street Fighter, that sort of thing, Tekken, which maybe you'd know about from the day. No, don't worry about it.
I started and finished with Pong, mate. That was brilliant.
Tekken and Mortal Kombat are like two super well-known fighting games, and they do have their own kind of respective scenes, but that's quite niche, I'd say, in terms of esports overall. The most popular one in the world is a game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's like a 5v5 shooter. It's as raw as that. You basically who can flick onto each other's heads the fastest and kill each other the quickest. It's as simple as that.
So I guess it's why the community must seem quite young, because getting 4 people to play paddle is really hard. But to try and get 10 people to get on the online game at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, my observation probably is as people get a bit older, life happens. You have kids, your career builds up, whatever it might be, you have less and less time to play, whereas the younger you are, less responsibilities, more time to play. And I think with the rise of things like streamers on websites like Twitch, where they literally broadcast themselves to hundreds of thousands of people playing a video game, that's the kind of like age bracket that it tends to work inside of. Once you get to 30, it's not like you're past it, but people at that stage tend to go behind the curtain. They either do what I do, which is be on camera. They go and work inside of these organizations that are competing. They don't really tend to be the ones actually playing the game at that stage.
So this is passion number 1.
Yes.
Obviously, passion, your first and primary passion.
My true love, the business,
is your family.
Don't tell my missus that.
She won't listen. but the other passion in your life is business.
Yeah.
Tell us the journey of how you got to come. Well, 1, why did you want to start and found a business? And 2, and you were there during that period of time when it was revolving doors at WeWork. So I've got a great idea, taking money off your dad, and then suddenly it's closed again and somebody else has sat there who's done the same thing. So you were part of that community. How did you come up with the idea that 1, I want to do it, and then such a great idea, and then you delivered on a promise?
The real beauty in this is I always say, if I was going to write a book, I would call it How Not to Build a Startup or The Anti-Startup or something like that, because every rule that is written about building a business, we did it wrong. Things like find a problem in the market, validate it, and build a solution they'll pay for. We built a solution that we thought sounded cool and then tried to find a market to fit it. So very much did it back to front. You get told all the time, make sure you hire the right people. We hired a bunch of mates who weren't really fit for the role, to be honest with you. We paid for that in probably 2 or 3 years of mistakes and learning, and only then did things really start to kind of catch on and build up, right? So we went through the wars in the early days, and for me, honestly, the reason why we started it was just...
BT Up Wars?
Not quite.
BT Up Wars.
BT Up Wars, or Racy Wars. Yeah, Racy Wars. No, it was very much like... me and my co-founder were just really stubborn. We were like, I don't want to work a 9-5 for someone else. I just want to try and build our own thing. And our answer was build our own thing. And fun story that not too many knows, we actually set the business up initially as a game studio. We wanted to build video games. Interestingly, given our background as games developers, who knew? And it was kind of an inflection point where someone said to me, look, you can try and build games, but like being part of the accelerator we were on probably isn't really the place for us to be. We want to go into a creative place instead, which wasn't really my vibe. Or if you want to try and find a business that fits around your like passion around building games, let's do that. And that's where gamification of sales came together, and recruitment was where we just tended to land, and that's where it's been ever since.
Yeah, you got to say why recruitment.
Well, I think like everyone, we fell into it. That is the most said line I think in recruitment ever. Honestly, we pitched at our then accountants like startup awards once a year. They ran this kind of startup thing where you could pitch, win up to 20 grand, a bunch of business support, all this kind of good stuff. And in the audience was a recruitment company, PSR Solutions, based in Stafford, bless them. And just on Twitter the next day, I DM'd their account, just like, hey, can I speak to one of the directors? And I got into one of the interns who had the director sat right behind him. So we went in to go and speak to them. We kind of learned more about recruitment that way. We kind of realized where we could help them a little bit. Being honest with you, product was crap in those days. They were with us for 6 months and then left. But we'd already learned enough about recruitment at that point to keep on pushing in that direction. And so we stayed. And then, funny story, again, really closing the loop, 6 months ago, they came back and signed up for us again. And they've grown loads. We've grown loads. It's a a really funny little small world when you think about it, when it works out that way.
So if you had any sort of clear goal, what is it that you want to do for recruitment?
What do I want to do for recruitment? I think, I think every tech provider would probably say this, but just get away from the old, inefficient, horrible ways of doing things that consume hours and hours and hours every single week just to do. Like, it turns a little bit pitchy at this point, but if I speak to a number of recruitment companies who are doing things how they have done for a long time, there's managers or admin staff. A great example actually is one of the early pirates we spoke to. They had a team of 4 crunching numbers in the back office to then send out to managers so they could manage their team. And I was like, right, so you're asking managers to toss up these numbers, send it into the back office, have them compile it all together for a whole afternoon, then send it back to you so you can manage the next day. You can't see in real time what's going on. And the answer was no. And I was like, well, that sucks. It was so horribly inefficient and no one could really do anything that we thought, well, giving real-time access to information so people can manage more effectively, can coach, can motivate, that was where the drive really came from, I think, once we saw that problem, and that's where we still are today.
And then putting the gamification part to it. So it was a bit of fun. There's music playing, celebrations, which is all part of the whole sales piece. You still never managed to actually get the pirate ships fighting.
You've asked me for that for years, and I've resisted you every single day.
Okay, so James, let me tell you, because this is a great pitch, right? James, the producer.
Producer James. You've got to call him Producer James.
Okay.
That's how this works.
Unbelievable. Right, so, well, thank you for letting me come
Every day's a school day, love. Every day's a school day.
So effectively, I had the idea of actually having businesses, and they had pirate ships, because pirates are what we do, and they actually could set some targets against each other and take on other businesses and create a pirate league of who does the most in the day. And all
that is good.
Drawn. I know, but I just thought that's a great way.
Shoot cannonballs at each other and all that. Yeah,
shooting
great
cannonballs
idea.
at each other. I had gone too far, given that he hadn't even started up. But there's still the concept would work really well, where you can actually have a league.
Yeah.
In the Olympics.
Yeah.
Of recruiters playing a game based on performance.
No.
Okay, maybe I've gone too far.
No, we keep thinking about that kind of stuff, honestly. Like, I know it's a classic, it's coming soon, we're thinking about it sort of story.
Oh, no, you actually said it's not on the roadmap.
It's not on the roadmap. I was honest with you then. But we are thinking about how can we do visualizations of competitions that we run, because you are right. The second side of it is, sure, we help with data and visibility and analytics and that. The other side is, going back to those gaming roots, is how can we also motivate or inspire people? How can we run competitions that don't rely on updating a spreadsheet manually or rubbing numbers off on a whiteboard? How can we do it in real time without having to, again, take time away from managers, right? So that's the other piece to it.
Right, so you're massively positive, and I think must have something to do with having a doctor of psychology in the house. That obviously helps.
Oh yeah, motivational coach. Bless her.
Bless her. Right, so
she bought 2 cats, and that was the winning formula. I'm down for it.
Someone told me today they had someone that they've sacked, and they're so scared because he's got a habit of killing cats.
What?
And I thought, how on earth did that person get through the selection process?
To be honest with you, I can't really say that some of my recruitment criteria. There's a checklist. Doesn't kill cats. Tick or not, you know?
I don't know. But
that's mental. What?
Anyway, that's how my morning started. The day in the life of random.
Every day's got something new.
I know. Massively positive, brilliant energy about you. I love the fact that you got 2 walks a year, 3 with family, and you're passionate about both of them.
She gets the low energy me, because I'm just knackered all the time.
But it's not all easy running or starting a business. You know, could you share some of that journey and what it's taken for you to actually step over? Because sometimes it's easier just to give it in.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many stories I can think of.
And I think you just shared something really nice with me that people would like to know. It's the first time actually your day job has overpaid your evening job.
Yeah, it's very true. Like the esports commentary side of things does pay ridiculously well. And this year, literally as of last month, it's the first time it's that the business is paying me more than that made me. So it shows that there's a grind there to get through, right? Like for 3 years, I paid myself nothing out of the business. For another year, I was on 12 grand.
So how'd you fund that? How'd you do it?
The esports side of things, literally that got us through the early years of the business. Right. So I was being paid, maybe 15, 18 grand by the esports side. That was enough to tick over whilst we got the business built up. And now,
so I just don't think people get that.
It's hard. It is really hard.
People think I'm going to start a business up.
It's going to make me loads of money on day one.
So as long as I earn 50 grand this year, should be all right. It's like,
if only it was that easy.
3 years.
If only it was that easy. Yeah. 3. I mean, I guess the difficulty for us was we started from zero, right? We had no prior work experience in a sales company. We never worked in recruitment, for example. So everything was ground zero. Let's figure it all out from day one with no existing contacts, no networks, nothing. That doesn't really help, admittedly. I always say if I had my time again, I would go and work for a couple of years to see how other companies like us run, learn lessons from them, take the contacts from that, find a problem amongst those contacts and build a solution for them. That's the way I'd do it now with the kind of more, I suppose, educated view on my head over the last 8 years of doing this. But in the early days, again, 3 years of no pay, up to 12 grand, up to 25 grand, ran out of money, down to zero again. It was only really 5 years in that I actually started earning what I'd consider a decent income around the kind of 35, 40K mark. And obviously now that's grown up more as we've grown as a business, but it was tough. And I was speaking to the founder earlier, actually, and I was saying, I probably cried twice when running the business. First time was we raised 150K back in 2017, which was, at the time, felt like it was, wow, how on earth have we done this with what we've got today? And we ran out of money in 2017. We had to fire like a team of 8. It was down to just me and my co-founder. We were making $2,000 a month. 3/4 of that was going on server costs. The other 500 quid was going to him to pay his mortgage, which he could barely just about afford. And I got onto a board call probably quite soon after, and they were like, right, what are you doing? And I was still reeling from having to let go of everyone and reset absolutely everything. And they weren't really having a go at me, but they were being critical and just being like, you really need to sort this out. And I just lay there and just cried, and I was just like, this sucks. Like, this absolutely sucks, and I hated it. But interestingly, it was 2 months later where you and I first met. We formed the partnership with the Pirates, and then we started to kind of figure things out and build things up from there. So I always kind of say, whenever they asked me, oh, now how'd you find working with Gary? I was like, honestly, I owe him a lot. Because you guys did genuinely in the early days really help us get back on the wagon and build things up.
I should have taken shares.
You should have.
Unbelievable. It's very generous of you.
No, honestly, you guys did. You guys did. And it was, I really enjoyed seeing the journey of the Pirates as well as much alongside it.
But it's really cool, though, because we partner a lot of businesses who are going through that stage.
Yeah.
And you just see them grow and grow and grow and grow. And funny enough, we're all still mates.
Yeah,
because
that's it.
There's been some hard knocks along the way. There's been hard conversations along the way.
Yeah.
But generally, it kind of works. And if there's a good positive vibe between people, it will always kind of work its way out.
Yeah.
I think it's quite funny when you say that you're earning a half decent wage as someone who's running a business. You would have earned more money just being a developer, stuck in a job.
Absolutely. My co-founder is a really good developer, bless him. Like, he could easily walk into a 90K job probably 3 or 4 years ago. And it's only now really getting to that point where he's earning that kind of money, for example. But I think, one, that's the risk that you take as being an entrepreneur, is the risk of the payoff, or sorry, the reward if it does pay off in the end. If you get an exit, for example, or the business grows to a side that it can pay you well, that's the risk that you're taking.
Income or wealth.
That's it. And you've got to decide what's your appetite for that. Do you want to have a much safer, more secure job where you can earn, at its peak, 80, 90, maybe 100K a year if you're a really good developer? Or do you want to risk it and, do a real fight to get to that point and maybe make more in the long run if the business gets to sell?
And it is important. I tease you about family, but if you haven't got a really good, solid rock behind you, because you're making some random decisions and you're spending money on somebody else's salary rather than you having a holiday. Yeah. And I really don't think people understand what it takes to be a grown-up entrepreneur in today's world. And how many you must have seen when you were in rented accommodation? Did you see the revolving door that people just thinking it was going to happen? And weren't prepared for the
I look back when we started, because we joined an accelerator program ran by NatWest way at the very start, just to kind of get a bit of guidance and coaching and have someone actually challenge us and push us forward. And I look back now at the 60 odd businesses that were in that room with us, sharing the same office space, everyone with the same energy. I look around now and I think maybe 8 of those are still going. Like, the vast majority have failed and shut down, or they've gone to go and work for someone, or they're trying something else, or whatever it might be. It is brutal. Most ideas just simply will not work out. And that's just that's the true nature of setting up a startup.
Then you got COVID, and then you got issues with people. And
I imagine you see it a bit as well, right? Like, you mentor a lot of recruitment founders. Many who are big billers in a company go, I can do this by myself. I want that money for myself. And they go and do it. Some are successful, but some end up packing it in not too long later on and going back to work in a company, right?
It happens really frequently. I do think we try and teach people. There's a roadmap. It goes really good salesperson, trainee manager, agony aunt when you're scared that anyone might leave you, and you're fearful of your own shadow. You become an accountant. And the quicker you can become an accountant, the more successful your business will be, because that's when you actually judge value, ROI, input, effort. What am I getting from that? There's an issue in recruitment at the moment where people have been offered really big salaries. So I'll get 60 grand. I'm on 28 at the moment. I'll get 60 grand to go to somewhere. They're not stupid. For 60 grand, they want 350 grand worth of return. You've never got even close to that. So you've not actually gained
That's the classic sales conundrum, isn't it?
You've earned just a whole load of pressure.
Yeah.
What now? Gaming,
Mm-hmm.
gamification, what you do as an app and try and gamify that. There are a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
Can you bring any sort of conclusions about your two different types of life, because they are madly different from the outside, but I'm not sure they're that different from the inside.
They don't.
But you can sound wrong.
No, I don't think you are wrong at all. No. If I look across the two different worlds, they are miles apart. Like, for example, on Twitter, I'm sure you've heard of the page like State of LinkedIn. They mock a bunch of LinkedIn posts, for example. They look at this business world and just go,
I'm a media whore. I haven't got a clue.
I guarantee you're on there somewhere.
Okay.
And everybody knows what that page is. They know exactly what I'm talking about. The worlds are so different that they look at the business world and they're just like, what on earth is going on there? It feels so fake. It feels so different. Like it's alien, right? But when you kind of look at it under the surface, everyone's got a drive in the same way. Whether in sales or recruitment, you're driven to just be successful. And whether success is you can afford a nice house, you can buy a BMW, you can buy a really fancy, expensive engagement ring or wedding ring, whatever it might be for your partner, or go on these lovely holidays. That's your drive. Or just to be success as a social status piece. You get the same in sport or in esports as well, where people just want to be successful. They want to win a world trophy. They want to be able to say, I've been successful and here is my evidence of that. Everyone ultimately is pushing for that same thing. Again, whether it's a house or a trophy, it doesn't matter. Everyone is driven in the same way. So really it's more at a human level. I think that I see the parallels around motivation is the drive to be successful and what it is that pushes them forward, both in very different worlds, but all going towards the same goal. And that's just really interesting to observe.
Fuck me, that was really eloquent. What did you read at uni?
Read? I've coded, mate. I was a computer games programmer at uni.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, you did?
I was at uni doing games programming.
Wow. Okay.
I wasn't at all like an English literature person, if that's what you're trying to ask.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what was it? Was it computer science?
Basically, yeah,
something?
but computer science sounded really boring, so I did games programming instead, where you could actually build video games with those skills.
Shut up. Is that a degree?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Is that up there with hairdressing?
It's not far away.
Okay.
My whole vibe,
Wouldn't that be an apprenticeship these days?
there are actually apprenticeships for it.
It makes sense.
There are. But it was good. But like in doing that, I got to go on a placement year where I worked for the company that was working on, I'm sure I've told you before, the Angry Birds series, right? Which is the thing before Fortnite came along and took over the world.
I know one.
You know Fortnite? You know that one?
No, I don't know.
Angry
Birds.
Birds?
I know Angry Birds.
Yeah, like that. And that took me to Malta for 8 months to go and work there, for example. So in a way, that was a really surreal year of earning no money, working in Oxford, which as you can imagine is not a cheap place to live at all. And then going to move out to Malta was a really cool experience. And that was kind of like, wow, I want to be able to do this myself. And that was really the drive to do what I do now.
And a tax haven.
And also that's why they set up an office there. They got major tax credits. Yeah. And I was like, we ain't stupid. We know why you're opening an office there, but I just went along for the ride. Why not?
Right. Can I just ask a room of people who are younger than me, right? So is there a question I should have asked? Right. Because I haven't got, literally, I'm hanging here.
Fighting.
The only thing you haven't asked that I think would be useful to know is who would be Derry's choice of Street Fighter character.
Oh.
We lost him.
I'm not as really a Street Fighter player though.
Tekken?
Ryu though.
Tekken? I can't remember the name. I like the one who had like the really long legs because you could just like whack people from the other side. That one.
Yeah.
I'll be that one.
Yeah. Just breathe fire at people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And what is your?
You're just a cheese player. Then everyone hates you. I hope you know this.
Yeah, it's fine.
What is that? What's going on here? I haven't got a clue. What's your favourite game?
My favourite game? Oh, there's a big question.
Speed fire round. What's your favourite game?
I could make up an answer here and you'd have no idea what it is.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
Halo 3.
Okay, what's the most underrated game?
Oh, most underrated game. That's a really hard one. Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer.
You might know that name.
No.
Honestly. Do you guys know Command and Conquer?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've never played it, but I've heard
Producer
of it.
James is down with the kids.
He has no idea what he's talking about. He's literally lying like a lip. He has a tell.
All he knows is podcast, bless him.
100% he has a tell. One other challenging question of if you could own the rights to any one game, alternatively, which game has made the most money of all time?
League of Legends.
Not FIFA.
I don't think it has. I think League of Legends makes the most. Like,
Really?
hundreds of millions a year, easy. To be fair, if I could own any game in history, it would have been Candy Crush during the heyday. That was making like tens of millions a day in its heyday.
It's
It was insane.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
So that's Tetris, isn't it? It's modern day Tetris.
Can I? Of course. Okay, love.
All right.
What console would you have created if you created any console?
Could create any console.
Any console.
PlayStation 2 sold ridiculously well. Probably that one. Made the most money.
I might have gone for Apple.
It's not really a Carry on.
Okay.
Don't worry about
Right,
it.
what we're
Should we
doing-
move past
okay,
the game,
right,
shall
right.
we, Gary?
Can I say that's a really decent insult? A massive thank you and shout out to Target Recruits, the #1 Salesforce-based recruitment-centric CRM. Now, they are the ultimate single moment of truth for aspirational business leaders in recruitment. If you're not aspirational, I wouldn't bother.
It's time for alphabet soup.
All right, okay. Should we do it?
Yes, let's do it.
Right, brilliant.
Oh, boy.
Right, it's alphabet soup.
Yum.
Alphabet soup. we didn't throw a lot of money on this.
Who wrote this?
David.
This little jingle.
Yeah.
Where did you find this?
Soup.
Can't tell you. The deep
That was-
recesses
that-
of the internet.
Classic.
That's me. Right, can you pull that? Right.
Yeah, okay.
Just give it a spin.
Oh.
Okay, we get right. So yes, I'm alright with it now.
Yeah.
Can you pass the book of I prepared earlier.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Right, okay, so what we've got here.
Okay.
Now we can do anything you want, but I have prompts.
Okay.
We can talk about love, so the passions in your life, but I think we might have covered that.
Yeah.
We can talk about something else that you love. Life skills. How do you think your business has helped you in terms of you as a person? Or is it the other way around? Have you helped a business because of something that's happened to you?
I like that.
Love that. Or we can talk about legacy. Right. So I was like Spike Milligan said on his gravestone, I told you I was ill. What would you like the world to know about you or leave a thought when they think of you? Or have you got the ability to listen to learn? Or are you always thinking about next question?
They're all really good, actually.
yeah.
That's what, you pick one for me. I'll spin the dice.
Okay, right. So I'm going to go with two.
Okay. Do I have to do both?
You have to do both.
All right.
And ultimately, one will probably get cut.
Right,
So-
reasonable. I won't put any effort in then, notice.
But we are on the clock. Right, so life skill.
Okay.
Is there something that's helped you in life that has changed the way you attack or go after business? So it might be a resilience piece and not leading you.
Yeah.
Or has what's gone on with business, so a resilience piece that's helped you with life? Oh, we've gone.
Okay. Let's start with that first bit first then. I'll probably actually say I might bring in from my parents, which kind of mixes into two areas here. But my dad is so carefree. Like his whole vibe when raising us was like, look, don't worry about it. Just chill, enjoy. We're in a good spot. We grew up on like a council estate, like really crammed in little house. Being honest, quite a chubby estate in many ways. Moved around a fair bit when I was young and then settled down in a town called Tamworth, which is where I still live now, just outside Birmingham. And I think having such like a humble upbringing where it wasn't like my parents loved us and they, for example, said when I was setting up the business, look, if you want to stay here in this single bedroom, like this tiny little box room, you're more than welcome to do so. My co-founder used to crash on my floor, for example. We didn't have a lot, but we were happy. And that sounds like a real cheesy thing to say, but it was true. And as I've grown up, my whole vibe, like with my whole team, is gratitude for what we've got. The sheer fact that we've got a business that we're all growing together, we're all earning an income that means we can afford our own homes, we can enjoy experiences. That's something to be really grateful for. And when someone freaks out about something going wrong, I'm just like, did anyone die? The answer is always no. So I'm just like, so who cares? Like, we can fix it. Most things are not irreversible.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. It's really nice, by the way.
That's my vibe. Is I'm so chill about life in general.
You've come across so much nicer than you really are.
Fuck you too.
Right. That was really nice, Bob.
Thank you.
With do you think then people who come from a privileged background who are kind of used to more of the more luxury stuff find it harder to cram and just say, well, I'm going to cut everything. I'm only going to have the one BMW. Right? do you think it becomes harder for them to actually be an entrepreneur? Oh, you're generalizing now.
Maybe.
You might alienate a whole load of people, and I'm all right with
Yeah, fuck all of you. I think, like, it doesn't matter what your upbringing was. I think as long as you can be humble and appreciate what you've got, it doesn't matter where you come from. which is true. And I think
Can we have a round of applause, please? Because that is literally
no, it is true.
brilliant.
Like I know people that have been raised by Thanks, James.
Sorry, went on a bit longer than I expected that to. Sorry, I was just saying in the moment, I was still crying.
When you say that, I know people who were brought up by wolves. Where are we going at?
No, but like people have been brought up by like millionaires or billionaires. Have got everything they could want, but they're still so humble and just appreciative of what they've got. They say like you get millionaires and then you get the wealthy. Millionaires are those that want to show everything they've got. They wear the gold chains, drive the fancy cars. Then you get true wealth that don't care. They dress like normal people. They act like normal people. They're really appreciative of everything. They've got so much money that it just isn't a thing to them anymore, and they don't care to show it either.
Okay, do you know what?
That's true kind of joy.
That's 50-50.
Like you, mate, wearing a nice black t-shirt. You're in with that one.
That's 40-40. Right, I've got one more question.
How many
for
cars you got at home, Gary?
Just the one. I don't drive
okay,
it.
there
Actually,
you
my car
go.
hates me.
Oh, there you go.
But it loves my missus, but my car hates me. You ever got in a car? It's basically just nothing fucking works. But it always like, oh, hi, Julian, how are you? And it's northern. Right.
It's Northern Camp. What is your car?
I am very camp.
That's why I can't drive it.
May I ask you one question about legacy?
Yes.
So when it's all over, when it's all done, and people think about you,
Yeah.
what would you like them to say of you?
That I always thought about people first. In the business, it's always my biggest weakness, and I always acknowledge this back from the very start, is I like to be liked. Whereas I was always told, realistically, a leader doesn't need to be liked, they need to be respected. But my whole vibe has always been to my team, look, I don't want to make it sound like I've got better than you or something, but I was where you guys were. Like, I was an employee in a company. Like, I know how it feels. Like, I remember that. I don't want to be that kind of CEO that sits in an ivory tower and takes it easy while you guys all sweat your balls off working really hard, getting all stressed, for example. I want to be there with you. And if anything bothers you, please come and talk to me. I don't care if you come and challenge me and say, Derry, the way you've done that is shit. I'd rather hear that than not. Like, a truth in leadership is you can't be one of the people in a way, because whether you like it or not, you've got that responsibility at the top, and that is always going to be there regardless. But I try my very best to be as open as I can be, as real as I can be. There is no professional facade that they see. It is the real me they get. And I'm really always going to hope that anyone who works with me sees that in me, that there is just a person here who wants to be liked, who wants to get on with you and wants to support you as well.
I'm massively authentic as well. I like to make sure I want to be the fairy on the Christmas tree. I want to be with binoculars to see how the ants are doing, and all my staff have to be in the rear view mirror. And I mean that. So
I'd say you are very authentic in a different way, though.
I am very authentic in a different way. Me. It's main sponsor time. So a massive shout out to Kingsbridge Insurance Group and specifically Elements. This truly unique and brilliant one place, one solution, staffing and compliance reliance tool is making a massive difference. It's a way to reduce your business op costs and fund some very questionable and random life choices. Our CEOs are all using it for a reason. You should too.
It's a time for a visit to this place.
You got so excited about that. Oh, the desert island.
Right, so of course we're on a desert island. So
All right,
here we go.
I didn't prep this one. This will be fun.
Well, nobody practices apart from me.
No, prep.
Okay, right.
To think about my answers. I didn't want to do it.
Okay, so
Off the cuff.
Now, actually, this is a proper bit of shoehorning in because it doesn't really work because you've got electricity on this desert island, and we had a bit of a row about that before.
All right.
So
You've gifted me a generator. Thank you very
so
much.
effectively, you have to choose one of these. It's a speedfire round for people to get inside of your head.
All right.
Ready? One wish.
One wish on the island.
No.
What do you mean in general?
In general.
Okay, one wish in general. Oh, this is so hippie. Peace on earth. We spend so much time trying to kill each other. I wish we were all getting on better. What?
I don't know.
What?
Literally, you are your father's son.
You don't know my dad.
But you already told me that he was just really relaxed about stuff.
Oh, he's super chilled out. He's not really
yeah.
I guess he kind of is a peace kind of guy as well, but not like hippie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Right, one prediction.
One prediction, AI is going to transform the world.
Right, somebody yesterday said AI is not going to change anything. It's just going to be something that we enhance, and it's not going. And somebody else said it's going to kill us all. So
I'm in the middle.
I think it's something that we will adapt and adopt, and I don't think it's terminator.
Yeah, Look, I'm the biggest cynic of new tech. I thought when blockchain came around, I was like,
you can't say that. You run a tech company.
yeah, not of all tech, just of new tech generally. So like when blockchain came around, cynic. When NFTs came around, cynic. When crypto came around, cynic. Now AI's come along, I'm like, this is the real deal. This is the real shit. And I say that because with AI, when it gets to a point, one, people need to accept that it's not really there necessarily to replace us. It's there to augment you. So all the boring shit that you have to do that's really manual, that's what AI is currently very, very good at. You give it 5 years time when it's the stuff serving you in shops, for example, when it's the stuff doing all the boring stuff that you don't want to do, like doing your shopping for you, for example, that is going to change the way that things go. Now, it's got a long way to go. The current primitive versions of AI that we're seeing, sure, it's crap. It's not great. But I think with a lot of tech, you see the primitive versions and see the potential. Some go too far with it and become all like, as they called about the people who love crypto, the crypto bros in a way. There will be those about AI as well. But give it a few years for companies to really sink their teeth in and for the whole like VC investment hype cycle to die down over someone who's, I don't know, plugged into ChatGPT that can then write a blog for you. Ooh, okay. It will get to a point where the real applications for it start to shine. That will change the way society functions.
100%. Exactly right. Well said.
Come back to me in 10 years' time and tell me I'm wrong.
Well, hopefully I'll be on a beach with you. Right.
Being served by AI.
Oh, yeah. Right. The best moment you've ever had.
Oh, best moment. Get proposing to my partner on a cruise ship.
Oh, where were you?
It was our first ever cruise. We went around. It was a really short 3-day
on
one.
your knee, but okay.
I was on my knee, obviously. No, it was going around. Where was it? It was like a 3 or 4 day one, so it wasn't too far. Bruges, I want to say.
Oh,
we were just outside of there. Had dinner. She came back from the bathroom. She came. There was like 4 staff around with the party poppers ready for when I popped the questions. Someone popped it early. Twat. I still did it anyway, and the rest of them did it, and it was fine. But she had no idea what was going on. It's very cute.
It's interesting because it's Belgium, right? So did you know what their national sport is?
No.
Drink driving. Right. So you have to have.
Are there points?
Yeah, there is points. Yeah. It's in the game, right?
Brilliant.
You have to have one tattoo. You have to go and do it now. What are you going to have?
Business Pikachu.
Business
Pikachu.
Is that just words?
No.
Is that a thing?
You know what Pikachu is?
Pikachu.
Yeah. Surely he knows this.
So fun story. My gaming handle or the name I use.
You're going to say fun story. Right, everyone prepare. This is going to be funny.
It's not really funny. It's more just,
it's
kind of like, ironically funny, not really like laugh out loud funny. The gaming moniker I go by in commentating and when I play games online is Desertu. So Des is my nickname, Derry to Des. And when I was younger, all I did was play Pokemon Yellow on the Game Boy. I used to be obsessed with it. It'd go everywhere with me. And my dad's mate one day, funny bugger, turned around and was just like, oh, you're right, Desertu. And I was like, that's actually really unique. It's Des and Pikachu combined together, and it's just always stuck.
Did you get an artist to actually create one?
No, not at all. But if I was going to have a tattoo, it would be a combination of like Pikachu dressed up in like business wear of some kind.
Desertu.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be the tattoo.
We'll do it.
Because it recognises the really good.
It if you do it.
I've always said if I can hold on to a tattoo idea for 3 years, I'll get the tattoo.
Okay, well,
I'm still holding on to it.
I'll remind you.
All right.
Huge thank you to RDLC for chipping in and supporting me on this private adventure. It is the only place to be. There are other recruitment networks, but frankly, they're shit. Always work with the RDLC. It's a better place to be. Hang out with 300 recruitment CEOs. It's the board you can't afford. Peace. You get one do-over in life.
With the knowledge I have now,
Yeah, don't go there.
business.
Okay.
Not to talk for anything else.
Okay.
Business.
In what way?
Because there's just so many lessons I've learned over the last 7 years of getting things wrong.
If you could start again today, back where you were.
Oh.
Welcome to Pints of View, Elon Musk. That would be brilliant.
Not quite.
Right, one guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. McDonald's, honestly. I'm trying to lose weight. Still getting Mackies 2 or 3 times a week sometimes. I can't be asked to cook.
With all the different burgers on High Street, I still think a Big Mac's the best burger by a country mile.
Five Guys is a real competitor, but it's like 3 times the cost. So it's like,
You still got your roots.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. My missus is frugal as all hell.
Brilliant. Right. So one sporting victory that you wish you would have had.
Sporting victory. Probably just back at high school, I used to swim a lot. I'd love to have won like a gala of some kind. It's a real kind of niche thing, but I used to really be competitive about swimming. Front crawl. It's really competitive.
Right, you have to come out to Ibiza because we have a swimming race every year.
I'm down. I'm down.
That's brilliant. And actually, we had an Olympic swimmer who's in the pool, came third.
Well, that's cheating.
No,
what?
came third.
Who came first and second? You.
Two really big
He let you
lads. Two really big lads who did really big dives. So we made the Olympians start in the water.
Amazing.
Yeah, it didn't brilliant because it just seemed to be right. So, right, one person you wish you could have met or would love to meet still.
Oh, Gary Goldsmith, obviously. Oh wait, no.
That is the right answer.
Thanks for
Congratulations,
James.
you've won the podcast.
You have won Pints of
Well
You.
done.
I don't actually know. It's honestly Chester Bennington, who was the front man of Linkin Park.
See, what you doing?
That was like, but growing up, Linkin Park were the band that everybody knew and listened to. Whether it was like the chubby kids who loved like
You're a
None with
skater boy,
Jay-Z.
really, aren't you?
I was when I was young. You want to see some pictures of me as a teenager? Woo-hoo! I got like black and blonde dyed hair, long hair, and all that as well.
Should
Yeah,
we get him to send us some?
I'll send you some.
There we go.
I don't
That's
mind. They're
good.
everywhere anyway. It's fine by me.
And here are some pictures.
But yeah, Chester Bennington,
Look
like
at the state of that. Oh my God, what you think you were, man? Shut up.
he was the first like celebrity death that I like cried over when he died because it was like he was a big part of my growing up.
You seem to be crying a lot in this.
I
so
know.
one food for...
Tearful, aren't I? Those are the
Well-
only 3 times I've cried in the last 20 years.
So one food that you have to eat for the rest of your life.
Oh, really easy answer, chicken.
Okay.
It's boring as all hell, I know.
Right, one luxury item you can't live without. Well, okay, I'm going to make it easier. Phone, laptop, or some form of game console.
Laptop. You can play games on a laptop and you can basically do a lot of phone functions on a laptop, so laptop.
Okay, that's less fun than I was hoping. What a shit answer that was.
I'll send through your shit question.
There we go. Mother. Right, brilliant. Okay, I've got something else I'd like to ask him.
Oh, God, here we
Right.
go. Off the cuff is this one.
Yeah, no.
Go on then.
Well, it is for you, not for me.
All right.
So there's some stuff here that just popped out at me and that I just saw the other day, which were the age that you peak at stuff. Now, I wanted to ask you a few questions just to see if you can get the right numbers.
Okay.
Now, this is from Business Insider, so it's probably got some provenance, but I'll be honest with you, I think it's shit. Right, arithmetic skills. Now, what age do you think you're best at maths?
Oh, it's probably in high school, honestly. 16?
50.
50?
I don't. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
Do you feel like you were the best when you were 50?
No. What's off my tits? Right. Life satisfaction.
Oh, that's a good one. I reckon 35. Maybe older, actually.
Yeah, you saw me looking down 60 and 69. Unbelievable.
69?
Right. Now, something I should ask you, because obviously you're an inventor, making a Nobel Prize winning discovery.
Oh, that's a hard one.
You saw me look up again, so you got some clues there.
I reckon it's, yeah. See, I'd always assume young because you'd have like a prodigy that would kind of like break through and discover something new before they get jaded by life. So I probably would have said like 20, 28?
40.
40.
And one other, right. So, playing chess.
Oh. 45.
It's 31. Did you know you spend 3,500 calories playing a master at chess? It's your brain actually is the most calorific burning
Interesting.
tool.
I did not know that.
So,
Sorry, I've just got a cut in here. That has just got boring as fuck. No one cares about chess, Gary. So let's have an emergency question. Also, I think you've mentioned that in about 4 other podcasts, so we just have to carry on. Emergency question, please. Emergency question.
so we're going to play some emergency questions.
All right.
I literally, the idea just came to me.
Okay. I'm down.
Unfucking believable.
James has got you in check.
Brilliant. Okay, right. So I can't use my favourite questions. So because you're not yet married, and favourite girlfriend. No, I don't.
What I've got now. Right answer.
I'll let you go. Right. So we've got 1 to 10 here.
Okay.
If I don't like the one you've asked, I will ask another one,
Okay.
which I think might be more.
What do you mean by 1? So you got 10 questions to ask?
Yeah. So no. You just got to choose a number.
Okay,
It's an
right.
emergency question.
Got it.
This is not a section.
Got it. Okay.
This is features.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Think of it like Gary's game show. Fuck, he would love a game show, wouldn't he?
As I'd say, it'd actually be a really good game show host.
Don't encourage it.
Gary Goldlame. Right, here we go. Right. So here we go. Emergency question, 1 to 10.
Okay.
1 to 11, actually, but 1 to 10.
So 10 or 11?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, fine.
I'm literally going to cheat. So name a number.
7. Yeah. What?
This is good for you.
Oh, thank God for that.
What is the most interesting thing you've ever learned about the world?
About the world? Oh, God, what kind of question is that?
Have we got a clock?
Of course we have.
Of course you've got this fucking sound. Most interesting thing about the world.
So I'm more interested that James really raised his game. 6 in.
That we are one wrong solar flare away from being burnt to a crisp.
No, but Bill Gates has got that sorted because he's put in the trails. And apparently it's all over Dean's house. and that's why Dean is now having to have vitamin D because he's going grey. And he's got no energy. Do you not know that?
He's going grey 'cause he's got to deal with you all the time, Gary.
Okay, there is that, right. Do you know what? Yeah, so we're close to death. Well done.
Yeah,
lovely,
very much so.
Lovely.
Very morbid. But it don't matter. It's fine. No one's dead yet.
Do you want to tear up? You've got 4. Okay.
It's making my 4th time in 20 years.
Another one.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Another number?
Yeah.
3.
Oh,
God.
have you got Simply the Best?
No, I don't have every song known to man.
Okay, can you just sing it?
You're simply the best. Da, da, da,
I did not expect that to come from our producer today.
I did not see that.
Damn, we've got a karaoke.
I did not see that coming.
Me
Right, so
neither,
the best
damn.
person you have ever worked with. There's a few here.
Oh, man, my team are going to hate me if I answer this the wrong way now, though.
I'm all right with that.
All right, fine. I can't really do this. It's not fair to them.
Yeah, you can. Name someone left-handed.
What? No.
Be random.
I tell you what, I could not pick between them, but I'll go with Emma Spragg, who's my head of customer success.
I cannot pick between them, but went straight for Emma.
Yeah, I have to pick one.
Brilliant. I love that. That's brilliant.
There you go.
The best of times.
The best of times. Ooh. I'm having a pretty good time now, to be fair.
Good. Right answer.
I don't even mean the podcast, I just mean life in general.
No,
This is a low point.
Yeah. Brilliant. Hope you get flu. Right. The best place you've ever been.
Japan. It's another world.
There is a rude answer to that, but we're not going to go with that one today. We'll keep it.
Mind out the gutter, Gary.
And the best book you've ever read, or one that you live by.
Oh, best book I've ever read. Can I say book series?
You can. Yes.
Yeah, you're saying book. I don't know how specific you're being here, but I'm going to say book series. There's a series called The Wind on Fire. It's a fictional book series. Loved it as a kid growing up.
I love that. A huge thank you for all of the support from Corporate Peaks. Now, if you want to maximize how you incentivize, you have to phone these people. Business-related events, lunches, conferences, and fun trips. From snow and black runs to tequilas and after sun, they just do it better.
It's time for a little bit of advice to your younger self.
Back in time.
Nice.
But to be fair, like, you only look 12, so this is very awkward. Nice. But if you...
This is shaved.
Imagine going back 3 or 4 weeks and you had to give your younger self at 18 a bit of advice.
Why 3 or 4 weeks back?
Because you're only 19.
I see.
No,
it's a nice joke about age.
Yeah,
okay, I'm with you. Okay.
Do you wrap yourself in cling film and sleep in the fridge?
Fuck off.
Okay. Right, so what would you say to your 18-year-old self?
18-year-old self. Care less about what people think of you. Because I care too much about whether people like me or not, or I did for a long time. Now, if someone doesn't like me, I'm like, oh, fuck off, I don't care.
And do you know what? Funnily enough, having that attitude gets you more friends.
Interestingly, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you try too hard, then...
I think as people see you respect yourself more and you don't just roll over for everyone because you want to be liked.
Yeah, don't be needy, be necessary.
Don't be a dick in that kind of like same stroke, but by the same token...
Did you hear
Don't roll over. What? Don't be a dick.
Don't be needy, be necessary.
Is that original? Have you just made that up?
I've just...
Fuck
No,
off, you did.
Please Google it, and I guarantee someone's already coined that.
Somebody check.
Someone coined that in the 1800s.
I'm going to check.
I'm trademarked. Someone Google it. Somebody trademark it. I mean,
Are you going to be one of those people on LinkedIn now that go out there and write quotes that they've come up with for themselves? I've seen a few and I'm just like, you are such a prick.
I do, mate. Yeah, I do.
You are such a prick.
I am such a prick. But,
So
but
few
I'm
people
the
do
world's
it.
prick. The world needs more pricks like me.
It does.
Right, are we almost there?
Unique character, Gary.
Guys, big news. That quote is, in fact, a Gary Goldsmith original. It is. He's basically shit Tony Robbins.
I'm here. I'm there. I'm Big Bad G. I'm everywhere.
And now you fucking ruined it. Now you killed it.
Nice. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
At least now I'll talk about something else.
Could
Except for
someone
future
please
futures,
just
right?
write that down before I forget it?
It's on recording, mate. You're okay. Don't worry.
brilliant.
For the whole world to hear.
Right, is it time for guest choice?
Yes, it is. Two truths and a lie.
Right, so
They wrote these down. I had to think about it, didn't I?
now, whilst you're preparing for this, if I get this wrong, if I can't spot what the lie is, I would like to donate 250 quid to a charity of your choice. Just tell me about the charity.
The charity is Special Effects. They basically help disabled children enjoy video games the same way those of us that are able-bodied get to.
Which I think is really, really lovely.
Very on
thing for you.
topic.
Yeah, and really lovely.
For you,
thing
you're
to
just
be
like,
involved in.
okay. It's another world.
Yeah, so more people can play Pong.
Brilliant. Okay.
Ruined it.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first one is my dad is a famous DJ. Third one, I became a shoutcaster or a games commentator by being an argumentative prick. And the other one is I've broken 3 bones through playing semi-professional paintball. So, dad's a famous DJ, became a shoutcaster by being an argumentative prick, and broke 3 bones playing semi-pro paintball.
Right. I reckon your dad's name is Jerry Holt.
It's not Derry Holt.
Daniel, but it's something like he's a famous DJ in their family. I know he plays a bit of paintball, but 3 bones, was it in the same game?
Maybe.
Oh, don't let your eyes give you away.
I'm giving you nothing, mate.
Okay, well, apart from
If I look that way, is it a lie? Is that way
Yeah.
truth?
It's like, right, what do we think, kids?
Where did you say you're from, Derry? Tamworth.
Tamworth.
No, there's no famous DJ from Tamworth, I'm afraid. No. No.
He knows the DJ scene.
Right, okay, right. What was the other one? Oh, hang on, he can't remember it.
Became a shoutcaster by being an argumentative prick, or broke 3 bones
Right,
through
so-
playing
so
semi-pro paintball.
He's not argumentative. He wants everyone to like him.
No. Oh, no, I don't believe that.
Which one don't you believe?
I don't believe his dad's a DJ.
Are you locking in your answer?
I'm still talking to my friend.
All right. I didn't realise this was like a group conversation. It was for Gary to figure out, wasn't it?
No, we've got a group.
This is bollocks.
So the lie is the dad, the
Can I just say
DJ
that
dad.
This is a 5 camera setup. One of them would get a good angle of me. Right, so I'm going to go for.
You're going to go for the dad is not a DJ. Sounds like a dance track, doesn't it? His dad's not a DJ.
No, what was the middle one again?
What did I say?
Shoutcaster.
Argumentative prick. That's how I became a shoutcaster. And the other one was broken 3 bones through
All right,
playing
I'm
semi-pro paintball.
going to take. I'm going to the gallery. Right, so you're not an argumentative prick.
I'm an argumentative prick.
Do you know? There's no.
You're not though, are you? You said you're a nice
was.
guy.
So-
Ah.
Funny enough,
you just dragged me into that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I've
you
got
got
you
baited a
250 quid.
well, my
Ask
dad's
him again, you can have
also a
500
DJ.
for your charity.
I mean, the lie actually was that I've broken bones playing paintball. I've never broken a bone playing paintball.
Who's your dad then?
You won't know him. This guy
So he's not famous.
He's famous, but
It's
he's...
like Calvin Harris or something. Come on. No, so when I was a kid,
He was a
pretty much
Vici,
every
I
year-
cried again. Sorry about that.
And that was a sad time. He used to travel around the world playing gigs, essentially, around Brazil primarily, for at least half the year every year when I was younger.
What's he called?
Redanka.
DJ Redanka. I should know that from
you remember that
Tamworth.
guy, yeah, from Tamworth, yeah.
DJ Redanka,
So
yeah.
he did remixes for bands. So he did like a Michael Jackson remix. He got commissioned for remixes for like U2, for example. One of his remixes is the theme song for a Need for Speed game.
Well, I
So
can't
he's
remember
done quite a bit.
How's it go?
Fuck off.
Okay, right. Right, where are we? Literally.
So I'll take that. I'll take the 250 quid,
Yeah,
mate.
I
Thanks.
will. Please ping me, and
will.
I'll send it by post. Take a while.
Lost in the mail.
It's time for guest questions.
Oh no, we did that instead.
Oh, we done that instead. It was time to wrap it up then.
Okay, so look, I've had a bag. I've had some really good times doing this
Third time
podcast,
lucky.
and
on.
this wasn't one of them. Right? Can I say? You've
I'm never coming back.
That was really, really good. Obviously professional in front of a mic and have massive crowds. You're really engaging.
Thank you.
I love your story.
Thanks,
and I
mate.
do feel a little bit part of the success only because
You were?
I've watched it from the front row seat and you give me the joy for that. And I love the fact you took none of my advice and it still went really well. You, sir, are an absolute joy and a privilege to have on this. And what you're doing and having fun, it's brilliant. Make sure you celebrate the wedding properly and your poppers don't go off too early. So good luck with everything that you're doing.
Thank you, mate.
It's lovely to have you here. But we always let the guest have the last word before I say goodbye. So is there anything that you wanted to say?
Probably a word to the world. So kind of linked to the whole like peace thing. If you can be nothing else, be kind.
Right.
It's a very simple thing. Very simple thing.
Brilliant. Do you know what? You've come across as a much nicer person
Than you knew.
than I know. On that note, absolute joy and privilege to have you here, ladies and gentlemen, Derry Holt. And apparently I'm lying. Peace out, and we'll hear you here. Oh, fuck off. We'll see you here soon. Peace and love.